Hi, I'm Stuart from the Norfolk Honey Company and welcome to another Beekeeping Basics. Okay, so we've brought all of the supers back from the apiary and we're now in the honey room and we're about to extract. We've got our extractor all ready to load up with the supers, and what we're going to do is we're going to simply uncap the wax cappings off the supers and then load up the extractor. So I'll just show you how we take the wax cappings off, and then we'll get them loaded up into the extractor and show you how we extract. Okay, so we're about to take the cappings off. This large piece of equipment is our api melter, and we'll do another video to show you how invaluable that is to us another time. But normally we'd uncap them in the bottom of the api melter, but I'm just going to show you how we do it here. We simply use a cold bread knife with a serrated edge, and simply using a cutting motion we simply slice our way to the top, minding your hand, and then turning it round and doing exactly the same. Taking our time to make sure that we cut through as gently as possible so that the cells are not completely crushed. I like to take it back to the wooden frame because then we can save the wax and swap it for replacement foundation. And you'll see on the first side that we've got some of the wax cappings that we weren't able to cut off. So what we do is we use an uncapping fork and simply scrape away at the cappings to reveal the honey beneath so that it will extract. And it's as simple as that. So that's the first frame done. We're going to load up the extractor now, and then we'll show you come back to it once we've got the extractor full ready for extraction. Okay, so we've taken the wax cappings off and we've now got the extractor. This is a 9-frame electric radial extractor, and so we're now going to get this going and extract the honey, and then we'll show you what you get with the frames once they've been extracted. Okay, so we'll start it off. We'll just leave the lid up. This obviously would be down normally, but we'll just leave it up so you can see how it starts to spin. So here we go. Gently at first, and then we increase the speed. So I'm just going to put the top down. Okay, so this is a frame fully extracted. It's clear of all of the honey, but you can see that it's still wet. So what we're going to do is to put this back into the super, and then we'll take it back to the bees and put it on the hive that it came from, and the bees will take all of this honey, residual honey that's left, and they'll clear it down, and this will be completely dry, and then we can take it off ready to store it for the winter. Okay, and finally we'll just show you the result of all that hard work, and this is the unfiltered honey that we worked so hard for. Okay, so we're back at the apiary having extracted this morning and this afternoon. We've now got wet supers to put back onto all of the colonies here. This one, you'll recall we took several supers off, but in actual fact we've discovered that each super has got its own little story. So we've got one super that we've kept behind, which we're going to produce some cut comb from, and we'll produce another video to show you how we do that another time. one of the supers had what looked like some residual oilseed rape honey in it, and that had granulated, so we've actually cut that out of the frames completely, and we'll show you that. And finally, the third super has been filled pretty much with solid pollen. So rather than just extract what little honey was in there, we've decided that we're going to put that super back onto this colony. This is a national hive, and we're going to turn it into a brood and a half colony over winter, which means that it will have the super, there'll be no queen excluder, and then there'll be the super that we're returning to them, which is full of the pollen, and that's going to give them a real boost over the winter and into next spring, because they'll have lots of pollen ready to feed all of the young next spring, and hopefully this colony will then go on to be really strong next year. So what we'll do is we'll take off the roof, and then we'll dismantle the colony, so take off the clearer board, and then we'll remove the super that we were clearing them into, because that will be empty, and then we'll replace the supers that we've got here. We're not going to take the queen excluder out tonight. We'll do that another time as we get towards the autumn, but we'll just take a couple of frames out and show you what we've done in extracting today. Okay, so this is the super that we had the granulated honey in, and we're using predominantly unwired foundation in these, so it's really easy for us to cut these out. So we've just cut these out. There's still quite a bit of honey, residual honey on these frames, so although there's no wax here, there is quite a bit of honey, so we're going to just pop this back on and the bees will clear this up completely. So that's the first one, and this is the second one, and as you can see, it's absolutely loaded with lots and lots of pollen, and that's on all of the frames. So rather than remove this, have it clog up the extractor, again lots of pollen here, we're going to put this back on and the bees will be able to use this over the winter. Okay, so we've reassembled the colony. We've now got the brood box, queen excluder. This is the super that has all of the pollen in that we're going to give them over winter and turn it into a brood and a half. Then we've got the crown board. Then we've got the super that we put on that was empty that we just cleared them into. This is the super that has the cut frames in it without any comb in them, and they'll just clear that out. And then we leave the clearer board on top just because there are a lot of bees hanging underneath. So overnight what will happen is the bees will come down, they'll start clearing out these frames, and with any luck they'll take them through the crown board and back into the super below. So we'll leave this on for a couple of days, and then we'll come back and we'll remove the empty supers, and then everything will be broken down, so we'll just have the brood box, the super, crown board, and then the roof on top.